Brimming with charm and power, the sea is a place I've always loved. And I'd spent a glorious day in beautiful Jiaonan, a seaside hamlet just west of Qingdao. I spent a wonderful afternoon building castles with two new friends that reminded me of my own childhood. A wonderful time I capped off with a camel ride.
那要我气场的是，我不要靠它抬进，
骑可以，
骑可以，
对对对，
是不要靠它的嘴巴。
对对对。
哦，我懂了。
I then made my way to Dazhu Mountain, whose unique stone gates were just a preview of the beauty that lay within. An amazing temple called Stone Gate Temple, where the stone formations appear to come to life. It's located in the extremely unique cradle of the rock outcroppings of Dazhu Mountain. Yet another mountain famous for its gorgeous scenery is Jiaonan's nearby Xiaozhu Mountain. The mountain's roads are snaked and narrow, but I still managed to perform a cliff-hanging three-point turn to show off my veteran driving skills. Safe driving, however, takes practice. Be safe as we drive into my final day of our Jiaonan getaway. Coming up next, what's left to do in Jiaonan by the sea? Why, fishing, of course. Watch out as Dalong goes looking for lunch. It's all coming up next on Getaway. Ancient seaside resort that it is, it should come as no surprise that Jiaonan boasts a dizzying array of succulent seafood. Succulent and fresh, mainly because lying 30 kilometers south of Jiaonan is Lanya Port, which is home to a bevy of some of Jiaonan's finest citizens, fishermen.
Langyang Port today is a mid-sized fishing port, but 2,000 years ago during the Qin Dynasty, it was one of the most important places in all of China.
The milling of real fishermen along the pier caught my attention. I wanted to learn more, and what I found out was that they don't live romantic lives, but ones that are gritty and difficult.
You know, the fishing I want to do for the rest of my life. The weather's perfect, the people are great, and the ocean water is emerald green. Join me, Dalong, on my Lingshan Island getaway.
5 kilometers distant from Jiaonan city center is Jimia Port, a place from which I set off on my final Jiaonan destination. A 40-minute ferry ride carried me to the peak of Lingshan Island. As I walked from the SUV to the ferry, I was filled with some apprehension. Locals had told me that Lingshan's rocky cliffs were foreboding. But that same foreboding feeling is what gives the island its irresistible charm. And as the third highest island in China, I would soon test just how foreboding those cliffs could really be. Saving the best for last, Lingshan Island would become the place where my wish to live and work like a local fisherman would be made to come true. The salty air and ocean spray carried me away with visions of a simple life lived on the sea. And then, the visions were over, and I had really arrived. I then made my way atop, hundreds of meters above the distant sea, on Lingshan's rocky mount. There, I felt for a moment that I was at the center of the universe.
Formed over 100 million years ago, I am now standing on the most remote part of the area surrounding Jiaonan City proper. I am on Lingshan Island. A half a kilometer behind me is the famous Tiger's Mouth. You can sort of make out the Tiger's Mouth biting down on a pearl. Now, this island is 7.2 square kilometers, 513 meters in height, making it the third highest island in all of China. And it is remote. One ferry per day. If you miss that ferry, you've missed your chance to visit some of the most beautiful beach island scenery in this area or any other.
Born in a fashion similar to that of the Hawaiian Islands, Lingshan Island was formed when fire-hot magma burst from the sea below. These once fiery flows have become uniquely shaped igneous rock of which Lingshan Island is composed. To touch and be in a place where few other people had ever ventured felt eerie, and I began to realize just how fortunate I was even to be here. So wasting no time, I was off in search of Lingshan Island's special spots, and I found one.
You know, it's practically unbelievable. These sort of seascapes are the things that most people only dream about or see in the movies. But here at Lingshan Island, it is very, very real and becoming more and more accessible. You know, I'm almost a little envious of having to tell you about this because keeping it this remote, serviced by only one ferry a day, is probably something that I'd rather do. Absolutely gorgeous. But more and more people are learning about it. The secret is getting out. And soon, these gorgeous beaches that look like dreams are going to be populated by people like you and me.
For 1,000 millennia, this cliff has withstood the smashing of waves against it. The waves' insistence, though, eventually broke the formation into two parts, forming a separate reef below the waterline. Aptly called the eroded cliff reef, its shape has changed, but its essence remains. On Lingshan Island, nature eternal.